Hello guys, welcome to our weekly rundown looking into the Premier League week 14. I've got Trouble here to my left. How's it going?
Well, Nigel, I'm having a bit of a nightmare today, mate. I sent the odds wrong over to Natalie. It's not very professional today. It's not been printed out for me. And then I went and used the toilet that's out of service. And I said, how do I know it was out of service? And she said, there's a big sign on the door that says out of service. So I'm having a bit of a nightmare. But so more importantly, I've got the winners. And I'm in the doghouse now, aren't I?
Well, was it number one or number two? That's the most
important. It was a number one, at least that. But, and I've been on a bit of a session the last few days, so it'd be nice and smelly.
Oh, God. JJ. Nigel, thanks for being here. Welcome to the conversation.
I'm locking off straight away.
Yeah. Welcome, Nigel.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, like I said.
All right, so pleasantries aside,
we're
going to start with Burnley versus Manchester City. Burnley 10.4, Man City 1.3, draw 6.26. We are powered by Pinnacle. Those odds are Pinnacle. All the odds I'm using today are from Pinnacle. Tough match. I think it's going to be a lot closer, actually, than say, maybe one would suggest. Burnley are a strong team at home. Going to start with you, Nigel.
Yeah, very good at home, but dreadful away from home. They're absolutely awful against West Brom in their last game, 4-0. But at home, they've already beaten Liverpool. They've already beaten Everton. They were very unlucky to lose against Arsenal. I think this is a very, very tricky one. I mean, Man City obviously got a big game in Europe in week at Mönchengladbach. They're travelling back from that game. They haven't really set the heights that you expect them to start the season domestically. So I think this is a tricky one. I do personally think Man City will just edge it. I think they would. They've got the quality to come off the bench and change it around. But if you look at the two games last time these two met, Burnley actually won it 1-0.
Correct.
And I think the goals could be quite tight. So I'm not really going to have a play on this one. I think I've got 7 bets or 8 bets this week. So this is one game I'm not going to swerve because I think there's positives and negatives, especially for Manchester City. But if I was my lean would be for going under 2.5 goals. I think this will be quite cagey. But I do think Man City will probably nick it and probably nick it to 0 if I was going to have a bet.
Well, listen, I'm going to say you've missed a really good bet, I think. Burnley plus 2 goals, 1.7. That's got to be a banker. I think it's going to be close as well.
Well, I mean, yeah, it could be, but they did. We mentioned the time they won 1-0. They did win 6-1 the time before that as well. So I just think it's a difficult one to suss out. And I think Burnley at home, if they play anywhere near like they did against West Brom in midweek, they could get thumped by 3 or 4 easy. Yep. So it's a difficult one for me, and I think it's a very tricky one to start the Premier League off this weekend.
Wrong, and wrong. What we're going to see in this game is goals, my friends. I'm hammering the over 2.5. Nigel's talking a load of wally there, and this one's coming in. It's going to be a goal fest.
Well, what are the odds you get for that, though? It's not too exciting.
Well, it's not like it's a short price.
You're normally a big odds guy. Well, I was like, I couldn't believe it. 1.5. I had to go and double check it. That was actually the only odd you did give me on your sheet. Like Muggins here had to go and find your odds for you.
And I sent in the American odds as well, didn't I? And a bit of a nightmare. But this one's coming in. Goals, over 2.5. It's a banker.
All right. Just have to say, Nigel Seeley is leading the board right now. You're killing it week in, week out, Nigel. Congratulations.
What's his percentage now?
Don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's like 1.16, I think.
Right.
Yeah, Nigel, you're doing really well. All right, so goals here. No goals over on Nigel's side. Mine's Burnley plus 2. Starting off strong, I see.
There we go.
All right. Liverpool versus Sunderland. Liverpool obviously lost their top spot to Chelsea last weekend. I am sure they will be aiming to regain it. Liverpool at home 1.18, Sunderland 16.0, and the draw 8.7. I think this game has got goals written all over it. This is a no bet for me. It's one of my only no bets. But I would have played the over 2.5 goals. You get that for about 1.4, 1.5. Liverpool are scoring goals for fun. 30 goals in total, 17 of those at home, and that averages 3.5 goals a match. So you could probably take it to about over the 3 to 3.5. Yeah. But yeah, Nigel, what are you thinking? Is it goals fest?
Well, I mean, I said that I didn't have many no bets this week, and you picked the 2 games that I've actually gone for no bet for. I think Liverpool are just artificially too short, aren't they? I mean, they are going to win it, but they're just a stupid price at 1.18. I mean, really, would anybody back that price? I certainly wouldn't. I think they're well underpriced. Obviously, David Moyes going back to Merseyside. You know, he never won against Liverpool when he was at Everton, so I don't think he's going to go there when he's a manager at Sunderland. They did win 3-0 in their last game. They did show signs, but that was at home. Away from home, you would expect Liverpool to win. But last week, we sat here and said it was going to be goals. When Liverpool played Southampton, it ended 0-0. So if I was going to have a lean, I'd probably back Sunderland plus 2 goals again, like you pointed out, or Sunderland plus 1.5, because I don't think Liverpool will win by too many goals. I think they might just nick it again. And these are the kind of games Liverpool have got to win if they're going to win the title this season. But I think the prices look far too short, and for me, it's not a bet, not a match that really sort of fills me with much confidence.
All right, well,
well, we always talk about it, Nigel, don't we? Like the prices for Liverpool are just like shocking, aren't they? Week in, week out now. I mean, it must be just hammered every single week by, I think, like the Asian syndicates and things like that. Can't get my nut around it, to be honest. And I think Sunderland plus 2.5 goals is just an absolute no-brainer, really, for me.
Yeah, and that's not bad price as well, 1.75. Sunderland plus 2.5, Nigel, would you take it?
That's a great bet. I mean, 1.75. I mean, that's just brilliant. I mean, Liverpool to win by 3. If you look at the last 3 years in this fixture, Liverpool drew 2-2, they drew 0-0, and they won 2-1. And they've never beaten them by more than 1 goal in the 3 years, and more than 2. I mean, that's a big ask for any team in the Premier League. Yeah. I think Sunderland has shown a little bit for them. Throw in the fact that Moyes goes back as well. I don't think this will be as one-sided as many think. I do think they'll win, but I think anyone who's taking 1.18 or 1.15, I've seen with some bookmakers, on a Liverpool win really needs to have a good, hard look at themselves.
They need to have a quiet word of themselves in the corner.
Definitely. Absolutely crazy price.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the next match now. Epic match, Chelsea versus Tottenham. Looking forward to this one. Chelsea 1.76, Tottenham 5.11, and draw 3.85. Those odds are with Pinnacle. I do know, shop around for those odds because I've heard a few different prices for Chelsea. But, you know, great match. Last head-to-head at Chelsea ended 2-2. I'm taking the straight Chelsea win, to be honest with you. Straight home win. What about you?
Well, I mean, it's a cracking game. I'm not absolutely in love with the play here, but I will put a little small punt on this. I'm going to take Chelsea win. If Chelsea want to win the Premier League, they have to get 3 points, you know. They have to. This has to be a must-win game for them if they are serious, you know, title contenders, right?
Top spot.
And it's a hopefully it'll be a really, really good game.
Yeah, and obviously as well, Chelsea don't have to contend with Champions League fixtures this week.
Yeah.
Tottenham, on the other hand, are travelling to Monaco.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna prove
Exactly.
a thorn in their foot. Nigel, what are your thoughts?
I mean, the Chelsea have got an unbelievably good record against Tottenham. I mean, Tottenham never, ever beat Chelsea. I mean, at Stamford Bridge, I think last time they did was 1990. It's over like 25 games or something like that. They always beat them. And last season, everyone remembers the game when they were 2-0 up. Tottenham looked like they were going to beat them, and then they threw the title away in that game, and it turned into a fiery affair. Lots of bookings, lots of red cards, and I think this could be the same. I think this is going to be a real tasty London derby. Chelsea have been brilliant since they reverted to the back three. Antonio Conte's done it. It was bookies' favourite to be sacked 5 weeks ago, and now he's got to the top of the Premier League table. Unbelievable performance. And they look in the real deal. The one thing I think about this game, I think that under 2.5 goals looks a massive price. 2.1 I saw, but probably I thought it would be odds on because Chelsea just win 2-0. They don't look like conceding any game. And Tottenham have got the best defence in the Premier League. I think the first 25 minutes, 30 minutes will be typical London derby. You know, blood and thunder, but I think it will dull down to be a damp squib in the second half. And I think under 2.5 goals here is an absolute cracking bet at 2.1.
Yeah, what about also like draw at, you know, even draw in the first 30 minutes, 40 minutes, even half time? Is that something you'd look at?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's, you know, when you've got two teams that are so good defensively, the goal's going to be hard to come by. Chelsea just haven't conceded in the last 6 Premier League games. That's the fight. They've got to the top they are. And Tottenham haven't lost this season. They lost once, you know, unbeaten in the Premier League. Best defence. I think this will be very cagey. I wouldn't be surprised to see it be a draw at half-time or any of those scenarios you said there. But I do think under 2.5 goals at 2.1 is a cracking bet.
Yeah, it is. It's good, great value, isn't it? I mean, and you know, when you have these, it could be a 0-0. I mean, you never know, right? It could be an absolute thriller, or it could just be.
It's going to be a 1-0 Chelsea win. That's what it's going to be because we're betting Chelsea, so we don't want it to be 0-0.
That's right. I'm on the Chelsea. Yeah.
We are on the Chelsea win.
Yeah, we're on the
so it won't be 0-0.
Right, so I haven't really paid much attention to that one because I'm not in love with the play, but I do think you just heard it there from the stat man. I mean,
we're supposed to be helping people with their picks, and you're supposed to do research and feel confident
absolutely,
about the one.
And my record speaks for itself. What am I? 108%. I'm up 8% on the year, and I'm only just getting going, my friends.
All right. Hull versus West Brom. Hull 3.24, West Brom 2.54, and the draw 3.14. Must win for Hull. They're in 18th. It's not looking good for them. West Brom are in 9th with 2 back-to-back wins.
Yeah.
Actually quite surprised. West Brom, not a bad price, but I'm actually going to play West Brom draw no bet, 1.79. I think there's still plenty of value in that for me. I don't see Hull walking away with all 3 points. What do you like?
Well, I've done my research on this one, and I'm absolutely in love with it.
Good.
I love the draw, and I think the price is cracking at 3.14. What do you reckon, Nigel? That's a great price, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't fancy Hull. I mean, I think Hull are poor. I think we're all coming from the same way. I'm going to go for West Brom. I was very convinced. I was very impressed with West Brom against Burnley the other night. I mean, Tony Pulis gets a bad reputation for the way he plays football. But the side played brilliant. I thought they were absolutely excellent. I know Burnley was shocking, but I thought they looked really good. Rondon looks a proper handful up front.
Yeah.
And Hull are the worst team in the Premier League by none. I mean, they've lost 6 of their last 8 games. They're conceding goals for fun. And I think West Brom are a decent bet to win it. I mean, we're all opposing Hull, so that's the main thing. We all think Hull aren't. Natalie's going with the draw no bet and plus with the minus a half or whatever like that. I'm going to go for West Brom, and you're going to go for the draw. So we all sing off the same sheet. Hull are the worst team in the Premier League. They will get relegated. They've got a bang average manager, and I think West Brom are very underrated this season. I think they're a real good side, and you know what Tony Pulis' side's away from home. They know they have to shut up shop. They know how to not concede, and Hull don't score enough goals for me. That's their big problem.
Yeah, that actually was a good game, the West Brom game, but you both were criticising it. You say it was going to be boring, you didn't want to watch it. I watched it, 4 goals, it was wonderful.
I know, and I said to you now I wasn't going to watch it, and I'm a man in my word. I didn't watch the game, but I had a look at the report there, and I was like, what? It sounded like an absolute cracker, right?
Yeah.
Goals, goals, goals. And I said last week it'd be 0-0.
Yeah. Yeah, and Nigel went for the under 2.5. You went for the draw. Nigel went for the under 2.5 goals, and I went for the over 2 goals. My bet.
What made you watch the game in the end, Nigel? You said you weren't going to watch that one.
The missus kicked me out, JJ.
Oh, okay, moving on.
All right. Leicester versus Middlesbrough. Leicester 1.9, Middlesbrough 4.67, and the draw 3.58. All those odds with Pinnacle. I have to say, I like the Leicester win. Leicester are not a good team to back before a Champions League match, but this will be after a Champions League match. And they're doing incredibly well in their Champions League campaign. Leicester struggle on the road. That is what's letting them down this season. 0 wins, 1 draw, 5 losses. Yeah. But at home, they are a different kettle of fish. I'm taking the Leicester win, 1.9.
Well, I'm on the same page here, Nat. Right? We both cashed this one because I'm taking Leicester win as well. The winning page. I'm at the bottom of the table, aren't I, at the moment? So got to get it going. But yeah, I really believe that's a great price as well, 1.90. I'm in love with it, Nigel. What do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, all over there. I think one of the best bets in the Premier League this weekend. The Champions League, 1.95, 1.90 at home to Middlesbrough. A team that promoted last season. This time last year, one team were Premier League champions. The other team was in the Championship. And you can get 1.9 for your money. Leicester did lose their last home game against West Brom in the Premier League. But prior to that, they are unbeaten, and I think they're good. They're good value for this game. If you were getting 1.95 these kind of prices last season, you snapped your hands off. I know they haven't been the same team, but they should be far too strong for Middlesbrough side. And Middlesbrough aren't scoring goals. I mean, that's their big problem, not scoring goals, unless they have got goals in them. And at home, they're a very different side. So I think 1.9, 1.95 Leicester to win this is an absolute cracking bet. I'd probably make them around about 1.66, 1.7.
Totally agree with you as well. Middlesbrough 15th, just 1 road win. Leicester's got to get the job done. My banker as well for the weekend, actually.
Can't argue with you.
All right, Swansea versus Crystal Palace. Swansea 2.65, Crystal Palace 2.92, draw 3.31. Both teams faring poorly. Swansea in 20th, Crystal Palace in 16th. Swansea just 1 win this whole season, just 1.
Yeah.
And that was on the road, interestingly. Crystal Palace have a better road record than they do at home. Crystal Palace are on the road. I love this bet, actually. It's Crystal Palace draw no bet 2, but you can play Crystal Palace and the draw, 2 of the 3 outcomes, for 1.57. Not bad price for 2 of the 3, but my official bet is Crystal Palace draw no bet.
Well, I like your theory there, Nat. I mean, do you reckon he's going to be the first, going to get sacked, our man, the American Nige?
I think so. I really do. I mean, I said last week, he hasn't won a game. They've got worse than what they have been. I mean, And, they need to make a change desperately. He hasn't won the fans over at all. His style of football hasn't been great. And there's some good managers out there, some good young managers out there who could get something going. And I think that, I can't see him last. If he loses this game, he's gone, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's just not happening, is it? I mean, I like what you're doing there, Nat, with the three outcomes. But, I like to be brave and ballsy. I was called a wide boy the other day as well by someone on the comments. Couldn't believe that. Anyway, I'm taking the draw. I think this is a draw, and I'm getting 3.51. I think that's a tremendous price and an outcome that can actually happen.
What does a wide boy mean?
I don't know. What is a wide boy, Nigel? You're from London. I can't believe it. Well, I was called that. What does it mean?
Might have been a compliment.
A bit of a cheeky chappy, a wide boy.
They were correct with that comment then, weren't they?
They weren't far wrong, were they?
No. But I think this is going to be a real close game. I think it's going to be really cagey. I think already coming into the end of November, this is going to be a game that I think is a relegation battle.
Yeah.
No side has got a worse record in 2016 in the calendar year than Crystal Palace in the Premier League. No team has got a worse record than Swansea currently in the Premier League. And I think this will be very, very tight, very cagey. I can see where JJ's coming from in terms of the draw. I think it could be a draw. But again, I'm going to play under 2.5 goals in this match because there's so much at stake for both sides. I don't think anyone will take any chances. And I think this will be a match they both look at and say, we cannot afford to lose this game. And I think 1.91 the unders is a great bet. And it wouldn't surprise me to see this being no goal scorer, 0-0. I know the stats for Palace games recently have seen lots of goals, but I think they go out in the window in matches like this where two sides have really got to get something from it, and a defeat is just out of the question.
All right, it's definitely a common consensus here, a close, cagey match. Moving over to Watford now. Watford versus Stoke. Watford 2.3, Stoke 3.46, draw 3.37. Watford are 8th, Stoke are 13th. Watford beat Leicester last weekend at Vicarage Road. It's their second home match. And I really like the Watford win, the straight Watford win at home. I think they get the job done.
Well, I mean, it's a very tricky one for me on this one. What do you think, Nigel?
I like Watford. I do. I think they're playing really, really well at the moment. They've got something special going on at home. They're playing well. They've only lost once all season at home to Arsenal. They've beaten Manchester United. They've got goals in them. I think they'll win this. I think the difference between these two sides is that Watford are scoring goals for fun, and Stoke, after a shaky start, have got back to sort of what they've done best recently. Stoke style of football. But I just think that Watford, the way they're playing, they're buzzing. I mean, Stoke got beat by Bournemouth last time out, and they failed to win at West Ham. And I was at that game, as you know, and they didn't impress me. But I think Watford at home, I think they've got goals in them. They'll attack and they'll score. And I think Troy Deeney's a player who's full of confidence, and I think they'll beat Stoke quite easy. I'm going to go with Watford to win. I think it's a great price.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Well, you're both on the same page, you two, this week, aren't you?
Yep.
Like conspiring together. Well, I don't think Stoke Rugby Club will win, but I think another one's going to be a draw. And this one I'm playing again, the draw. An outcome is very, very likely to happen. And I'm getting a great price. I think you said 3.71 there with Pinnacle, right?
3.37, yeah. I tell you what, you can also play the Watford draw no bet, 1.62 for those at home if you think that the draw will happen, which is also not a bad price.
Yeah, it's very, very good value there.
Yeah. Well, right now, obviously, Stoke, they can be a tough team, but they are winless on the road right now. Watford, 3 wins at home. I think, I don't expect Stoke to win, that's for sure.
Right.
Okay.
Agreed.
Moving on. Southampton versus Everton. Southampton 2.45, Everton 3.87, and the draw 3.42. All of those odds with
Pinnacle.
Yes.
I do use Pinnacle, by the way, all jokes aside.
I use Pinnacle all the time, actually.
I do use Pinnacle, great. No limits as well. The biggest limits in the industry was always good. I just think, they got it wrong, Pinnacle this week, because Everton there, is it 3.87, did you say?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's an absolutely amazing price, and I'm absolutely going to put the wheelbarrow on it. I love it.
But you are an Evertonian, and I'm not sure how often this Everton bet of yours has been coming through.
Well, I'm an Evertonian, so do take that with a bit of caution there at home. But even from a neutral perspective, I could even say that. I think that is just a tremendous, tremendous price.
All right, let's hear what Nigel's got to say.
Yeah, I think this, there's obviously going to be Ronald Koeman going back to his former club, which is a big thing for him as well in this game. So it's going to be like a big subplot there. Southampton also have they're coming back from the Czech Republic, where they play Sparta Prague on Thursday. I know they get the extra day rest, but that's not going to be an advantage to them. So I can see where JJ's coming from there. The one thing I do fancy in this game is goals. I think it's quite an entertaining game. Both sides like to play football in the right way. They both like to attack. They both got centre forwards in fine form in Charlie Austin and Lukaku. And I think there's goals. I would be definitely playing both teams to score here at 1.91. I'd probably pay the over 2.5 as well.
Yeah.
But I've in a weekend where I think it's going to be quite low scoring. This one here I think could be quite high scoring. So over 2.5 goals for me, and both teams to score at 1.91 will be my bet.
Yeah, I have to say this is my second no pass of the 10 that we're previewing. Both teams hit or miss, but obviously Southampton do have a Europa League fixture on Thursday where they're travelling, so they'll be coming from that. So I think there might even be some truth in what you're saying with that Everton win.
Yeah.
Not often I say that, but maybe for once your Everton bet will come in, which would be nice for you.
It would be very, very nice.
Then you'll be betting them for the rest of the season, probably.
Everton always win. Win, win, win.
Good. All right. So there we go. Pass for me, but Everton win over 2.5 goals. Both teams to score. Could be a great game. Arsenal versus Bournemouth. Arsenal 1.39. Bournemouth 8.71. Draw 5.29. Not a bad price for the Gunners. Right, Nige?
Yeah, I mean, they should be all right. They've got a couple of injuries. I mean, they've got Bellerin out, which is a big blow for them. I mean, he's key for them. I mean, Jenkinson, his replacement, isn't good enough. So there is a couple of injury concerns. He's got a big selection there. Does he call in Olivier Giroud, or does he leave him on the bench? He's playing in the Champions League tonight. But Arsenal will be too strong. I mean, Bournemouth, they like to play decent football. But these are the kind of matches that Arsenal destroy teams. When teams come to the Emirates and try to go toe-to-toe with them, that's when they get hurt. I mean, if you're going to go to Arsenal, you've got to really frustrate them, put 10 men behind the ball and try to hit them on the counter-attack. That's how teams beat Arsenal. If you go toe-to-toe with them, like Bournemouth are going to do, 9 times out of 10, you're going to come a proper. Last season, Arsenal won it 2-0. They won both games 2-0, very comfortably. And I think Arsenal win this, and I think they win it quite easily. I'm going to go for Arsenal -1.5. I think Eddie Howe's a great manager, but he's got to get his tactics spot on to beat Arsenal. And I don't think they've got the physicality or the threat on set pieces where Arsenal have to really get at them. So I think Arsenal will be a match, very two similar matchups, and I think Arsenal will come through very easy, probably 2 or 3-0.
Yeah.
Spot on. You're talking a lot of sense there, Nigel. I'm on the same play as you, my friend, and you're going to be happy. You're an Arsenal fan, and I love it. Arsenal -1.5, and he's totally right. When it's when like Bournemouth want to play football, and those are teams that Arsenal really, really dominate. They don't like playing like Stoke Rugby Club and things like that. But when they play a team that likes to play football, Arsenal really get a grip on the game. And I love it. It's one of my plays of the weekend, mate. I'm with you. Arsenal -1.5. And I'm getting, 2.1 is great.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good bet. It's a must-win as well. They're fourth, 25 points, 3 points below first place. It's close up there, and it's sort of games like this that Arsenal cannot let slip. They need those 3 points. I'm actually going to go for the under 3 goals. It's a bet offered by Pinnacle, 1.93. Like it very much. I'm hoping it's a 2-0 win. If it's a 3-0 win, I get my money back. I'm not predicting Bournemouth to score. Nige, do you think Bournemouth will get a goal in here?
No, I don't think they'll get a goal. I think Arsenal will win these games to 0 usually. I think there'll be a very, very comfortable 2-0, 3-0 job done for Arsenal. 3 points. They never usually get beat in matches like this at home. They never make slip-ups. It's against the big teams where Arsenal usually slip up. And I think it's a routine job. 2-0, 3-0 job done.
Are you watching the game, Nige?
Yeah, I'll be going to this game. I'm not going to West Ham this week. They're away, so I'm going to.
This is seen as supporting your team this week. It's good, Nige.
Yeah. How's your head, by the way? The one that JJ thinks you got at West Ham.
Yeah.
You can see I'm talking a lot of sense this week. I'm agreeing with JJ, so the head's obviously clearer.
There you go.
All right, final match to preview today. 10th match, Manchester United versus West Ham.
Nigel's love.
Nigel's second home.
Yeah.
Man United 1.46, West Ham 7.77, draw 4.74. All those odds with Pinnacle. Must win for Manchester United. They're in 6th. I'm afraid your bet of them winning the Premier League, unfortunately for me and you, I don't think is going to come in. They've got 19 points, 9 points below first place. It's going to be hard.
Anything can happen.
Yes,
There's a lot of time left, a lot of football to be played, Nat, so do not lose the faith just yet. And I'll tell you what's going to happen here as well. Nigel's West Ham's going to get stuffed. I reckon Man U win 4-5-0. I'm being genuinely serious. I'm taking United -1.5, and I think they're absolutely going to destroy them. What do you reckon, Nigel? You watch a lot of West Ham this year. What's your prediction?
Well, West Ham aren't very good, but I always like to back them away from home than I do at home. I don't know if I'll be. I don't think Man United are playing that well to score 4 or 5 against anybody, though, JJ. That's the problem for me. I think, they're not scoring goals. I mean, they're not scoring enough goals, especially at home. Their last 5 games in the Premier League, every single one of them has been up to 2.5 goals. They won one. They dominated Arsenal. It should have been 2 or 3 up. They just couldn't.
But the thing is, Liz, I totally agree with what you're saying, and that's why I think there's got to be like some kind of statement performance. It's got to come out.
I think that's going to be.
You know what I mean? They've got to get something going, Liz, haven't they?
I think the thing here for me is that I don't think Rashford is. I think he's been hyped up to all kinds of levels. I think he's a good player, but I don't think he's anywhere near the levels that everyone's saying he is. I think they're missing Rooney a little bit in front of the goal. I mean, I know it sounds.
That's unusual for you to say that. You always slag him off.
Well, I think they're missing him. But last week they should have been 3-0 against Arsenal. The game should have been over. Arsenal got a lot. 85th minute header. The week before they at home, the last time they were 0-0 against Burnley. They had 85% of possession, couldn't score goals. Zlatan Ibrahimovic started off really well. The Premier League may have sort of get the amount of games you play in such a short period of time.
They're offering him a new contract, though, aren't they?
Yeah, they give him a new contract, but I mean, I just think they lack a top world class proper out and out centre forward. Aguero across the road. You've got people like Harry Kane at Tottenham who scored 30 goals a season, 25 a season. Man United don't have that, and I think this is the problem. I think West Ham will go there to defend for their life, frustrate them exactly like they did in the last couple of seasons here, and I think this will be under 2.5 goals again. I think 2.2. I think you can get under 2.5 goals. I think that's a great bet. I wouldn't be surprised to see Man United win it 1-0, but I can't see them scoring 5, JJ. I really can't against anybody.
So that's your bet. You're going for the under 2.5 goals.
I'm going under goals. I think Man United will just nick it 1-0, but I just think that West Ham are struggling for any kind of form, and Manchester United are struggling for goals. So I think this will be quite nervy, and it's a huge game for both sides for differing reasons.
Well, I'm going to quote our dear friend JJ here. Goals, goals, goals is what we're going to see. 1.75. That's my bet.
Very good bet.
What do you think?
You heard it here first. They're going to put 4 or 5 past this West Ham team. They are garbage.
What's your bet?
I told you, didn't I? I'm on the -1.5.
-1.5. Okay.
They're going to kill them. They're going to absolutely destroy them. -1.5. That's a banker.
All right. So it's like we almost ended this show like the way we started, completely divided. Although we're similar.
That's it.
Yeah.
I would like to say just before we go to all our American viewers, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
I've got a lot of clients that are Americans, a lot of followers that are Americans, and a lot of friends. And happy Thanksgiving.
Are you doing anything for Thanksgiving?
I actually am. Yeah, going around with my buddies.
I'm doing something as
well.
Lot of
NFL.
It's celebrated here because there's a big lot of population from United States here.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna have a great time watching the football tomorrow, the NFL. So be great.
Yeah. All right. Great stuff, guys. Nigel Seeley, thank you so much for joining us, and JJ as well. Thanks for your tips today, guys.
Cheers.
Okay. Have a good weekend.
Do your research before you bet. Check out our ratings guide to see which books have the best ratings and sign-up bonuses. Open up several accounts. Shop for lines at sbrodds.com. Always be ahead of the game.